the difference. Hello. Welcome to the Life of Growth and Peace podcast. It is I, Coach Gazi. Hi. How are you today? I'm going to get straight into it, right? Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my video. Hello, beautiful people. All of that and all of that and all of that. Okay, so I came across a video that I made from April of 2020 during the pandemic, and just take a look at it. Just check it out. Check it out.
Hey y'all, what's going on? I just wanted to talk about some things that have been, I guess, on my heart, on my chest, whatever the case may be. Just some things that I've been thinking about, and this isn't to tear anybody down or to talk bad about anybody, but this is just my observation and my opinion and just how I feel. So, like a lot of people, like teachers, leaders, people always talk about like the blessings of God and like the abundance of God and things like that, like all the positive and things like that. But I feel like nobody ever really talks about the struggle. People may like tap into it or mention it, but nobody really talks about the struggle, like not like the down and out struggle, but that place of being in between, not yet like basking in the glow of God, or the blessings are like falling down on you where you don't have room enough to receive it, but also not like where you used to be, like not battling like, do I want to live this life, or do I want to walk this walk, or do I want to be like a good person and things like that. Like I just feel like people always talk about, God is a good God and all the blessings and stuff, but what about us who are in that in-between place, like I know I'm not going back to the life I used to live. Like I'm not going to be a liar or a thief or a manipulator or, any of those things. Like I'm not going to do that. But I'm not yet like, oh my God, like asking. And not to say that God hasn't done anything, and not to discredit the things that he is doing or that he has already done. But just saying like, that overflow, like not yet in that overflow. So what about us who are in the struggle, like in that in between? And I feel like it's not enough honesty or enough, testimonies about people who are living in that in between. People like, I've been through this and this, that, and the third. And yeah, I appreciate like, you've been through this thing, but how'd you get out of it? Like, I know it wasn't just I said a prayer and then I was out of it automatically. Like, what about them nights that you was crying, that you feel like you wanted to give up and you wanted to go back and, call such and such and make that phone call that you can make to help you get up out this situation instead of trusting God? I just feel like people always say, God deliver me out of this, and if it wasn't for the strength and the grace of God. But what about when you wanted to give up? Like, people like they tap into it like, yeah, I wanted to give up, but I didn't. But like I feel like people don't elaborate enough on that struggle, like the in between. Like, I want to quit, I don't want to do this no more. Like, this is hard, like, and people like that song The God in Me by Mary. Like, it look easy, like from the outside looking in, it look easy, but they don't know like the sacrifices you made and the changes that you had to make to yourself. So I just feel like, people should talk more about those things. Like, yeah, we know that God is a good God, we know that he can do all things, we know if we have faith to believe that he gonna get us out some situations, or we will be out of these situations, or these things that are holding us back will be eliminated. I got that, cool. But what about just a message to the people that say, like, just saying, don't give up? Like, I know you in a struggle, and I know it's all the memes out there, and you might get the motivational video, but what about the direct connect? Like, what about sending a person, like, saying directly to you, like, I see you. Like, I know you struggling. Like, I know you want to give up. I know you want to quit, but don't do it because it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? Just like, I'm trying to articulate this in like a way that's really understandable, in a way that people would get, without just saying the struggle. You know what I'm saying? Because there are different levels of struggle. There are different places in the struggle. What you may consider struggling, I may not consider struggling. But the fact of the matter is that we all go through a struggle, and that you're not by yourself. So I'm just here to say to you that, like, I understand you won't quit. you don't want to do this no more. And then on top of all the things you're dealing with, like mentally, emotionally, or physically, like this thing that's happening environmentally, that's going on around us, that have us like they say quarantine, but in the isolation. And it's like you can't do the things that you are used to doing or the things that you usually do. So then it's like, what to do next? Like, where to next? Like, where do I go? Like, which direction do I look up to? Like, okay, how can I get guidance in this thing? And I just want to tell you, like, just don't give up on yourself. you know um Things are difficult, things are hard, but just don't quit. Like, God got you. And even though it's easier said than done, it's easier to hear than to believe. But just trust in the process. And like, I wanted to quit so many times, like, but I'm just like trying to stay strong, because I've come too far. Like, I've really come too far from like the person that I used to be, like, to go back to that person. And people think like taking this walk or living this life, and like not necessarily as a Christian, you know what I'm saying? Because some people, like, I don't label myself as a Christian, I just believe in God, blah, 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 I'm spiritual, whatever the case may be. Like, people think it's this elaborate thing. And what I tell people, this is how I explain Christianity to people, like, just don't be shady. Like, don't do people dirty. Like, don't be out here trying to get over people, trying to manipulate people. Like, don't do that. That's all it is. Just be a good person. And some people don't know what being a good person is, or even how to do that. And some people have never seen that. So it's like, it's one of those easier said than done things. One of those easier to believe, easier to hear than to believe type of things. But at the end of the day, you're not by yourself. Just open your mouth and just reach out to people, because some people are going through things, some people are struggling, but they just don't want to talk about it. So I'm here to talk about it. Like, I share my business, like, because I know that I can't get through this thing by myself. I know I can't grow and learn by myself. I know I need other people to do that. So I'm here. I'm an ear. I'm a shoulder. I'm a hug. Like, I'm love. Like, whatever you may need in whatever time that you need it in. I'm just here to let you know you're not in the struggle by yourself, and just don't quit and just don't give up, because there's a purpose for your pain, even if you don't see it, even if you don't understand it, and even if it don't make sense. You're not in this by yourself. So this struggle not gonna last forever. Like, unless you want it to, unless you just don't do anything different to get yourself out of it, unless you just don't become a better person, unless you just don't learn to not be a manipulator, like, to not be petty, to not talk bad about people all the time, then you'll be stuck, like, doing the same things until you die. But I got you. I got your back. I'm here for you. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to share that, get that off my heart, or spread that to the masses.
Okay. So in that video, you hear me just say that people don't talk about what they're going through. And I really just wanted more information for how people get through and overcome life and its challenges and all of those things, right? And I'm sure I'm not the only one, right? But also in that video, I kind of don't give you any tools. I'm just like searching. Now, that was 2020, so that was 4 years ago to the T, over 4 years ago at this point. And that was before I really, like, legitimately went through any substantial life changing circumstances and things of that nature, okay? And directly after that video, like a year later, I just started like going through life. Life started to whoop my behind, essentially. And so now I can come back and I can share some things with you on how to overcome. And so in 2021, I was going through a major transition in my life. And so I was being promoted at my job, right? So I was getting a raise, I was getting a new position, and I accidentally sent an internal email to a customer and then I got fired. And they didn't even tell me I was fired. I kind of was not able to log into any of my systems and nobody could tell me anything. And so for 3 years after that, I still received the company emails. So yeah, so that happened a week after I was terminated. I just assumed I was fired because after 2 days and you're not able to get in your system and nobody's responding to your emails or your phone calls, you kind of assume you're fired, right? Okay. And so that happened, and literally about a week or so later, I get a phone call that Cheyenne's dad dies. And that was a lot because that was my friend, that was my daughter's dad. And so I have to go through that. We were, talking about getting married and getting back together and all of those things, which will now will not happen because the man is dead. And so that was a low blow for me. Um, Through this process, my sis just gave birth to her first child. Um, and so we're going through that. She has a new baby. I'm looking for a house, and so all that happened July, August. We closed on the house October 30th. And so I was able to be distracted, like helping my sis with her new baby, losing my job, trying to refocus on where I'm going to go. We're looking for a house, so all the paperwork that needs to be done, going to all the listings, all of those things. So I was able to be distracted. But in November, um, everything is still. So now all of the overwhelming grief kind of catches up to me, and so I endure that. Like, that was a lot. And I'll never forget this one day. Um, on his birthday, I just broke down, and my dad's like not super emotional, but he's like super emotional. It's weird. And I was just crying. I think I was like on my way to the gym. I was on my way to do something, probably to get some air. And it was Willie's birthday, and I just like broke, and I'm just like in the car crying. And my dad's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "It's Willie's birthday." And he's like, "Okay." And he like closes the car door and walks away. And that kind of broke me more because then I felt like I didn't have any support. And so I don't know if any of you have ever been going through a hard time and you feel like you don't have support. That's a tough place to be in because I think I wanted a hug. I don't know if I wanted a hug, but a hug probably would have been nice. You know, so that was tough, just battling my own thing and then that thing on top of it. And so I think probably a few weeks later at my workout class in December, Miss Tammy was playing this song, and I don't know the name of the song, but I know it was like the last 3 minutes of our class, and I just broke down. I just uncontrollable crying. I was trying to get myself together. Like, I'm new to feelings and emotions, so this was overwhelming and embarrassing because I'm crying in public, okay? And I don't do that. And so it was a lot for me at that time. It was just a bunch of different feelings that I didn't know how to handle. And so it kind of like pushed me into a depressed state where I was like, I don't want to go outside. The last time I went outside, I cried in public. It was embarrassing. I didn't like how that felt. Or like the last time I cried in public, basically I maybe felt rejected. I don't know. Maybe I did feel rejected. And so it was a lot. And so I really just stayed in my bed and like cried. And Cheyenne was a tablet kid for a good 6 to 8 months. I didn't have the capacity to do anything extra, anything additional, anything more. I didn't have it to give. And so I kind of just was taking it moment by moment, honestly. You hear people say you got to praise your way through and you got to press and all the things, but it's hard. Um, Praising and pressing and still feeling depressed and feeling like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. Like, yeah, you can praise and you can press, but it takes mental fortitude to be able to pull through those things. And that's something that I had to recognize during that time. Like, um, depression, sadness, overwhelm, anxiety, all of those things, you have to overcome that thing mentally. You gotta fight. You have to choose ye this day which side you gonna be on. Because it is so easy to be consumed. I'm not even going to pretend how to say I'm not going to hold you, but the side I was on was not the winning side. Okay, I was getting my behind handed to me. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't feel like I deserved to be happy. It was just a lot. It was a lot of emotions that I was very unfamiliar with. And so I just was like, I'm gonna just stay in the bed and cry or be sad or whatever I did at the time, which was probably nothing. I lost my job. I had to get a new house. It was just, I was going in debt. It was I feel like everything that could go wrong did go wrong. And so by the time November came, December came, and all the feelings started catching up to me, it was overwhelming. Um, and so I just was there, just existing, just coasting through on what I had saved for the past few months, and I was just going through. And one day, one day I was just like, I don't want to be like this. Literally, one day I just was like, I don't want to do it. How do the old people say? When you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, then you will make a change. That happened. I'm not a depressed person. I'm not a naturally sad person. I'm not a naturally negative person. I never have been. And so that was outside of my character. What I was feeling was outside of me. Though warranted, it was not my default setting. My default is joy, but I didn't feel like I should have joy because all of the sad things that were happening in my life. And so, in church they say you got to praise your way through, you got to press your way through. And I was trying to, but I couldn't. I didn't feel like I was allowed to. I didn't feel like I was allowed to have joy. I didn't feel like happiness was afforded to me. I didn't think it was my portion. And so I stayed in that place. But one day I decided that this was no longer the life I wanted to live. I no longer wanted to be sad or depressed or just melancholy. I wanted my joy again. And so, what did we start doing? I don't even remember. Probably taking the dog for more walks, just going outside, sitting outside, gardening. Gardening is my friend. I love plants. Like, I'm the most green, ungreen thumb ever. I can kill a plant and bring it to life and kill it again. My portion in life, it is what it is. Um, but gardening really kind of helped me through that time. And it was just tough. But once I made the decision that I no longer wanted to be depressed, I I actively fought for my joy. Like each day that I got up with intention to find one thing or two things or three things to bring me happiness because I lost, like I experienced loss before. Like I lost my cousin, I lost a child, I lost relationships. So I'd experienced loss, but this level of grief was a completely new level of grief. It was the grief that I've never grieved before, okay? And so it was tough. It was really, really tough. But I just had to make up in my mind. And, when they say your mind is powerful, I experienced that firsthand. What you feed your mind, the thoughts you allow to consume you, those things matter, okay? They matter so much. And it is up to us to control our thoughts and not let our thoughts control us. Had I continued to give into the thought of, I'm not allowed to be happy because all these bad things are happening to me, I should be bitter and angry and depressed. Had I continued to allow those things, I would not be the me I am today. I'm naturally joyous, so I had to fight for my joy. And that was the thing. Like in 2017, you heard me tell about when I lost my son. And I went to the store and I said, I'm going to compliment three people. That changed my life. that moment literally changed my life, because seeing other people smile made me smile, and it brought joy to my heart. And so I had some bubbles and started blowing bubbles, and I was so happy. And we're a bubble household, so we keep bubbles in our house. And so it's just like that one little thing, and it made everything better. And then Cheyenne's auntie sent me a good playlist on her Spotify, and it was a dance playlist. And so we would play that in the morning on the way to school. And so I was just coming out of it. And it was one of those things where I had to actively fight. I had to actively choose which side I was going to be on. And so the me I am now, the joy that I have now, when you see me smiling to myself and laughing at and with myself, I fought so hard to be here because it could have went another way. There are people who never get over the loss of a loved one. They're grieving their entire lives. And that's not to say that I don't grieve, because there are moments, but I can't live there. And so that was 2021. And then 2022 came around, and I got my groove back, and I'm thinking that everything is good. The kid is like May now. The kid is in swimming lessons. You know, she goes to visit her auntie and my her grandma for the summer, which is my mom. And literally less than a week when she got back, my mom went into the hospital. And my sister called me, and she's like, they're saying this. And my mom had a lot of strokes already. And so after the third day, when she was still in the hospital, I had to prepare. Now, this is my baby sister, so she's the baby, so she doesn't really, my siblings don't do the hospital thing. It's like the grace of God that whenever my parents had an experience where they had to go to the hospital, I've always been there. But this time my baby sister was there, and I had to prepare her, like, look, okay, this is what they're going to say, and this might happen, and this, and this. And she called me literally hours later, like, everything that you said to me is what the doctor said. She said, exactly how you said it, in the same order that you said it, is how they said it to me. And so now my mom is like sick. She had a blood clot they had to surgically remove from her. And so that's never a good thing. This is now in July of 2022. And so we gotta figure something out. And so we learn what's happening, and they're like, she might not make it. Now me, I got faith. When my cousin died, I was in prayer when we got the phone call, literally praying, seeking the Lord for a miracle. When Willie was going through whatever he was going, I didn't even think Willie was going to die. If I'm honest, the thought of him dying never crossed my mind. And that's probably why it hit me so hard, because I knew for a fact that God was going to perform a miracle. The thought of him dying, I didn't even think of it until he died, and I was like, oh snap, he died. What? So same thing with my mama. Lord, you're going to perform a miracle. This time I saw help. I got the prayer word. We about to pray her through this thing. The Lord is going to come down, and he going to touch her, and she is going to be well. Well, a week went by, and she was not. And so now we have to make arrangements to go down there. It's time to get the affairs in order. And so me and Cheyenne, we pack up and we go. And we're in North Carolina for a month. We get down there July 23rd. And, July 23rd or July 26th, July 20 something, I remember. This is 2022. We get down there, and they like, she not gonna make it. So y'all could let her die in this hospital, or y'all could send her to hospice so they can make her as comfortable as they can make her for her transition. Doctor said I give her 2 to 3 days, maybe a week, because when they removed the blood clot from her brain, um, they scraped some of her brain, so she was a vegetable. She could not eat, she could not drink, she could not swallow. They had tubes in her mouth, in her front part, in her butt part. She had tubes everywhere. Now, when I walked in that hospital, I said if my mother could talk, she would cuss all y'all out. She ain't got no socks. She cold. She don't like being cold. At the hospital, baby, my mama had hella hospital socks, okay? Her feet need to be warm. She need 2 pair of socks on her feet. Like, and I guess in their mind, they're like, she about to die anyway, right? That's only what I'm assuming. And so I'm like, she can't stay here like this. She can't stay here like this. She dry. She stink. Like, she can't. And so it was me, my aunt, my grandma, my uncle had a meeting with the nurse practitioner, and we had to make the call. And we, like, all right, put her in the hospice, and they transfer her, and 9 days later, she died. She died August 7th of 2022. Willie died August 9th of 2021. And the day my mom died, me and my siblings were fighting all day, right? I wanted to take a family picture because the last time all 5 of us were together was for my baby shower 10 years ago. And I wanted a family picture. They did not. And it was drama in the group chat. It was drama in the streets. It was drama, and baby, we were all fighting. We went to church that day. I'll show you the pictures. It was a good day, but we fought all day. We fought all day. When I tell y'all we fought all day, baby, shots was being fired. Before church, shots were fired. When I got out of church, shots were still being fired. When I got to the house, we were still firing shots. Okay? All the shots were being fired. We were not together. I just wanted a group picture. I just wanted a family picture. So around like 8 o'clock, 8:30, we finally are able to take our pictures. And so we take our pictures, and my brother goes home, and at 9:03 I had a missed call. And I call that number back, and they're like, your mom has died. And I'm like, dang. I got the phone call. So I gotta deliver the message to everybody. So my brother, he lived 3 minutes away. He just got home. I got the call at 9:03. At 9:06, I was at his house. And he's like, why are you here? And I'm like, it happened. And so that day we all fought. That day we all held each other up. Literally. We held each other up. And how the enemy will try to get in, the nurse told me, she's like, you need to go ahead and make the arrangements because we can't keep her. Because we had to build the courage. Like, we had to build the courage to go. We got to go see her. She gone. We got the call at 9. We probably got to the hospital like 11, to the hospice place. We just dilly-dallied, lollygagged. And so we get there, and all we can do is just hold each other up. I was so mad at my mama for dying. Let me tell you. My mama was with the drama, and whoever wanted it, they could get it. When I walked in there, she looked so peaceful, like a little baby. Oh, it pissed me off so bad. It pissed me off. You sitting there looking like a cute little baby, like a little angel. I just wanted to kiss her little cheeks. I was so mad. I was so mad. I was. Okay, baby, you can go ahead and watch your movie. Love you. And that nurse pulled me to the side, like, you gotta make the phone call. You gotta call whoever to come get her because we can't keep the body. She already been here for this many hours, and we can only have her for this many hours, and this, and this. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? And so I called who I could call to help, and you know, whatever have you. But that night, Cheyenne walked up to me and she was like, "Mommy, being here for Grandma, I now know what happened to my daddy." And she just started crying, and I was like, that was tough. But I was like, we gotta. I just was. I don't even know. I just supported her the best way I could. I just hugged her and just let her feel like all my siblings. We just, you know, Jack was angry. You know, it was just like I watched everybody process however they process. And so after that, like after that whole thing, um, we were afforded grief counseling, and so started grief counseling after that. And when I started grief counseling in September, she died in August. I started September grief counseling, and it was grief counseling for me was a perspective shift. So I know like I'm a life coach, and I know they have like therapists and counselors and things like that. Get the help. Absolutely get the help. It brought so many things into perspective for me. She just let me know like there are so many different phases of grief. Like you'll never stop grieving, but it'll just look different as time goes on, and just like all the things. Um, that was September. After my mom died in September, also, then my car got repossessed. I knew it was coming though. I can't even pretend like I didn't. I knew it was coming. I was surprised I had it that long. Like I used to walk outside like, oh, it's still here. Thank you, Jesus. Keep it going, okay? Oh man. And so I just did my best. And so that happened, and I was really upset at the Lord for that happening. Like, why, all of these, again, all of these things are happening back to back to back to back. And then in December, my dog Max, who we've had since 2011, gets hit by a car and dies. I find my boy on the side of the road by my house. He went out for a stroll in the neighborhood. He probably went to see his girlfriend, and he got hit. And he when he wasn't home, I realized like, hey, where's Max? Found him on the side of the road, and so I was like, ugh. I was like stuck. So many things, so many things, so many feelings, so many, all the things. And so this time, I actively chose joy. It was hard losing my mama. This is my mother, okay? The woman that brought me into this world. Regardless of the ups, the downs, and the in between, still my mama. And I think I had a false ideology that because my mom died, my grandmom and my stepmom would be more to me, that they would do more, that they would love me more. And it didn't happen, and that was disappointing. And so I had a false expectation of them that everything, because things changed for me, that things would change, that they would be different, and they weren't. And so it was disappointing 6 months in when they didn't call more or message more, because they know what it's like to lose a mom. But I can't expect them to be what they've never been to me. And that was a mental shift that I had to take. They've never been more to me than what they are. So why would I expect that? And I think sometimes when we're going through things, we expect people to step up and be more. And sometimes that happens. But what happens when all your relationships stay the same? Then people will be like, forget this person and forget that person, and I don't ever want to talk to them again. They were always the same. My grief counselor helped me to see that. Like, baby, stop expecting more. She's like, when you call them, do it because you want to, not because you're expecting to receive something from them. And for me, the expecting to receive was the love, the attention, the affection, the kind words. That's what I expected from them. But this whole thing, it's like a mental shift. It helped me to see relationships. So in the video, I talk about how do you get through? How do you overcome the hard things that happen in life? You got to put it in your mind that this isn't my forever. Where I am right now is not my forever. And that's what I had to do. I'm not stuck here. I'm not bound here. I have a choice. Yes, this thing is sad. Yes, this thing hurts. But I don't have to live in the agony and the misery of it all. And so on sad days, I find joy. Sometimes on sad days, I'm sad. But I don't stay sad. And I think that comes with the mental fortitude that we have to have when we experience things. How do we overcome the hard things? You have to put it in your mind that you want to. I know somebody, a person who's woe is me. Everything is always so bad. People are always so awful. Nothing ever goes right for me. My life is so this. It's so miserable. People suck. Life sucks. Everything sucks. And their life sucks. I have peace. I have peace because I put it in my mind that yes, these things happen. Yes, these things are hard. But I don't want to live in the dark place. It's scary there. It's sad there. It's miserable there. It's easy to be there. It's hard to wake up every day and find joy and find a reason to smile and find a reason to love and to find a reason to give. That's not easy. It's not. Even for a naturally joyous person as myself, a naturally positive person, it's not easy. It's a fight. I have to actively choose this. I can be miserable in the morning when I get up and I don't feel like doing anything because life doesn't look how I thought it should look in my 30s or however, wherever you are. I can be that. I can be sad that nothing ever works out for me. Or I could think, okay, this thing didn't work out for me, but maybe it didn't work out for my good. Maybe there was something unexpected there. My mom's fiance, he was like, we should have did more. We could have, whatever. This man he's going to go to the witch doctor and everything. But the thing was, if we kept my mom, right, we could have kept her in the hospital on the tubes. She would have been a vegetable. She would have been she was already a vegetable. Who wants to see their mama like that? And first of all, my mama, never. 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 And so we had to make a hard decision of what we thought was best. Even if other people didn't believe that that was the best decision to make. But who wants to visit their mom? Who loves them and has joy and that they can laugh with and fight with, and she can't even talk. She can't even recognize you. She's just laying there. And you can literally see that there is no life in her eyes. And that's how some of us are. We're just laying there with no life in our eyes. No ambition. No joy. No peace. Nothing to look forward to. No hope. No faith. None of the things. We're just there. I challenge you to find 2 or 3 things that bring you joy. What do you like to do? Do you color? I have coloring books. I'm an adult in my 30s. I color in coloring books, yes. And not the grown up coloring books because those are stressful. Because, first of all, I don't want to color in all those little lines. Give me like cupcakes and something fun. I don't want to color. I don't like that. It's stressful. Sorry. It's stressful. So I have like cupcakes and kittens in my coloring book. Okay. I journal. I take walks. I eat ice cream for breakfast. I bake a lot of cakes. Um, I smell flowers. I blow bubbles. I have bubbles in all of my purses. I'll like randomly walk into an establishment and just start blowing bubbles. It really makes people smile. And that brings me so much joy. So if you ever see me like in the mall blowing bubbles, like I'm probably blowing bubbles and my daughter's probably like dancing and like we do that. I let my daughter dance in the middle of the mall because it brings her joy. Like we're in the mall and she just starts dancing and I do a shimmy and a shake with her also. Because why not? And yes, it's embarrassing, but it brings her joy. Who am I to stop the joy? She likes watching movies together. Sometimes I'm over it, but it brings her joy. And so I'm willing to do the thing to help her have joy. And so when I say that you have to actively choose joy, there are things in your day to day, every day, when you get up and you decide, hey, I'm going to make me a good breakfast. I'm going to eat fruit. I'm going to, whatever the thing is in the morning, eat a piece of cake. Go, like, I have $7. I'm going to go spend $3 on something that makes me, sunflower seeds. Those are my thing. If I have $7 going to the gas station, it's like $2.65 for the sunflower seeds. $2.65 for the sunflower seeds. The rest go in the gas tank. I listen. However, it has to happen. Keep the. I don't know, but I'm gonna do the things that bring me joy. I'm gonna eat the things that bring me joy. I'm gonna get my boba tea once a month because it makes me happy. Whatever. We have roller skates. My roller skates. They have lights on the wheels, so like you'll see me in my driveway skating in my roller skates. Absolutely, because it brings me joy. And so, what things can you do that bring you joy? And then do those things. It's it's a mental thing. You have to actively choose life. Choose ye this day. Which side are you going to be on? I can't choose for you. You have to choose for yourself. And so in that video, I say, how do you overcome the thing? Nobody talks about overcoming the thing. But it's not until the thing is overcome that you recognize how you overcame it. And so, in the midst of it, I didn't know. In hindsight, it was a choice. I recognized I didn't want to stay there. I chose joy. I did the things that made me smile, and it was one smile a day, and then two smiles a day, and then two smiles and a heartfelt laugh, and then two smiles, a heartfelt laugh, and something weird. And then I started laughing at myself. And then I just started this. And I compliment more people. I just do more. And I have more and I am more because of that. Not physically, but internally. It happens from the inside out. But you have to actively work towards it. It's not easy. It's not. You can pray and prophesy and get hands laid on you and manifest all you want. But until you make a choice in your heart, in your mind, and in your spirit that you want better, you want more, you want to overcome, that's how you do it. When you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, then you'll make a change. So I love you. I hope all things work together for your good. I hope something amazing happens. I hope this has brought you peace and joy and growth. I hope this helps you to embrace your future, that you can have something to look forward to. And so I love you.